What is truly wild is that narcissists hear the prayer that goes, "Thy will be done," and they take that as their life mantra. They figure that they are on some godlike level. And trust me when I say they pick and choose their victims. They are predators. They're not going to pick on the big, muscular veteran across the street. My little friend with the dog who's being tormented by the man who's taking her photos and following her. She can't move fast. She can't fight back. She's always outside. And this predator knows that. He's ruining her life. She's having trouble sleeping, and that's exactly what he wants. He wants to torment. He wants to torture. It's not a romantic obsession. And I had to talk to her about different kinds of corn, that it's not always sexual. It's not always an aspiration. Sometimes it is about the feeling of hate, the feeling of destroy, the feeling of inflicting pain, discomfort, without consent. That's the thing that person is looking for. And you have to educate yourself. Not everyone's going to church and reading the Bible. Not everyone's aspiring to being a secular humanist or a good person. A lot of people, if we didn't need laws and law enforcement and correctional institutions, we wouldn't have them. It's just that here, there's a high concentration of people who are on that slick-ish. They know how to act good, look normal, hide in plain sight, get access, play the role, talk the cops out of it, especially if they have the proper skin credential. They will hunt within their groups. They will play the nice guy to 99% of people. And I definitely struggle with colleagues who've been, convicted of this and that, who I had a great experience with. And to this day, I have to talk to myself and understand that at a certain level, these perps made a decision that they were God lowercase g, that they were anointed to be in a position to control, to reward, to destroy you, to alter your life, your career, your earning, to even traumatize you to the point. And this is, I think that Paris Milan talks about it a lot. There's a lot of cases that don't get talked about that are the Shanquella, Brianna, pure victimization, pure taking advantage of the fact that you have the power to do something and get away with it. It's more common than a lot of propaganda would have us believe. And we cannot roam the world and roam the streets and be naive. I treasured this platform for bringing me all of these discussions and information because it's dark and a lot of people don't want to talk about it, right? Even in the Black TikTok, Black women TikTok community, people talk about, oh, you're being negative. Oh, you're so angry. Oh, they're not interested, right? It's this kind of toxic positivity of like, let's just talk about good things and good people and positive things and, entertainment and makeup and outfits and movies and Netflix and all the great things. And that's great. But what's great about the algorithm is if you're curious and you have questions about why did that person treat me that way? How did they learn this behavior? How did they develop a taste, a fetish for destruction? How come the person that worked there after me is not alive at 26? How come the person that keeps being asked back for employment opportunities is linked up with the son and the father? How come the people that continue to endlessly audition keep bragging to me about their boyfriends getting them cast? How come the kids that I do commercials with, unsolicited, keep telling me about the older male photographers who took their photos and got them cast and this or that, and they would never date someone their own age. How come the person that casts me has an LTR with the producer, right? I'm not saying any of that is bad. I'm just observing it. I'm just observing the flex of power around the town. And it's not like this in Washington, D.C. or in New York, depending on what industry you're in, right? And it's not like women are innocent of this kind of behavior as well. We know. What is it? Ruby Fruit Mafia? That there's, weekend trips, whether it's to the Hamptons or to Martha's Vineyard, where it's you leave the husband behind. Maybe you can bring the kids, but it's all girls, and the get down goes round, and it can take you from one job to the next. Ask me how I know. And there isn't any more qualification involved than maybe, them people like you, like how you look, like how you get down. It is what it is, right? Rock and roll. And you're never going to say no when it benefits you, but you do observe the slide down the other side, right? I feel like I've been fortunate that my ride hasn't really been a heavy substance one, right? Although that has been there and been offered. I went to 4 years of college, so that means I know how to handle substances. But it's not like people weren't trying to have me be out of control or unable to know what was going on. Let's not even talk about the homies that have been dosed at the Abbey, dosed at the bars out in Venice. And I'm talking about grown men, 30 plus, who they can't say what happened that night. That you are not in this isn't the Holy Land. This isn't a community that is cohesive, that doesn't have those darker appetites. And that's the thing I said to my friend who's having problems walking her dog. I said, you have to open your eyes and look at what we find on the street. Bags and bags of substances, right? Needles, pipes, little tiny cotton balls, all up and down the street, all up and down the hills. It's not there. It's not an accident. The bird didn't drop it. The drone didn't drop it. Somebody dropped it. And if we really open our eyes and see, grown men walking their dogs into unhoused people's tents at 5, 6, 7 a.m. in the morning, when we see, people of different genders wearing pleather and fishnet stockings being bodyguard walked into mansions up the hill, we can't just think, oh, they're probably filming a TikTok. Like, it's naive to think that what goes on around the clock isn't in close proximity to us and ultimately going to affect us, right? It's like people thinking at one point during the big C, oh, it really only affects people of color, or, like certain diseases only affects gay people. That'll never affect me. It's just them. I wonder what happened to that little girl that was licking the toilet seat. I wonder what happened to all those people who were going to big C parties. I know what's happened to my homies that felt like, oh, it's nothing, it's a cold, and got it 3 and 4 and 5 times. Listen to the medical people on this app. They have a lot to say. But I will tell you this, a narcissist go narcissist, and they will do it to harm you. They will do it for the pleasure of feeling the power of a god. They've seen it. They liked it. They learned it. They do it. They gonna do it to you, and they're gonna do it till the day they are put in the ground. And the best course of action is to clock them and get away, stay away, give them a polite corporate